What's happening, comic fans? It is Mike from the Hardcover Comic here. Today, we're going to take a look at the absolute Doomsday Clock. So excited for this one. If you're new to the channel, we're going to look at the book. We're going to talk about the story a little bit. I already have in a previous video, but I love the story so much. I'll definitely do it again. Real quick though, I want to talk about organicpricebooks.com, sponsor of the show. Amazing sponsor of the show. Very good shipping. Very good service, amazing customer service. You can pre-order, you can place regular orders, and on the screen we've been showing 2 promo codes that you can use to get a little bit off of your orders, depending what kind of order you're making. Check them out. Can't recommend organicpricebooks.com enough. You can definitely get this book on there, so go while you can. All right, like I mentioned, I recommend people double dip on this one. I had purchased the 2 standard size hardcovers for Doomsday Clock, and yet here I am with the Absolute Edition in my hand. Very, very happy to own the Absolute Edition. It's stunning. That was a slipcase. Now we're looking at the hardcover itself. Relatively well designed, keeping with that Watchmen aesthetic. If you have like an Absolute Watchmen, or any of that sort of stuff, it's a great, not necessarily homage, but, you know, continuing within the spirit of Watchmen. This story in general is a spiritual successor of sorts to the Watchmen. It's Jeff Johns sort of taking the Watchmen, you know, taking this idea of rebirth that was in place at the time, sort of consolidating these universes now that the Watchmen was owned by DC. And trying to integrate them, really, when it comes down to it. Let me tell you, in my opinion, a tough job to do. I was very skeptical going into it. I remember thinking to myself many times, it's just not going to go well. Mixing in the Watchmen with the DC universe is a crazy thought. It's not going to work out well. What makes the Watchmen so incredible is that it's so separated from everything else. But let me tell you, I was wrong. I was wrong. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank especially, the two of these 2 gentlemen did such a phenomenal job with this story. Gary Frank finally, unless there's an Absolute out there that I don't know about, this is, I think, the first Gary Frank Absolute edition we've ever received. 1000% deserved. Gary Frank's artwork, I mean, incredible. It's just beautiful. It's stunning. Lots of 9-panel pages here, more than that even at times. Very much in the aesthetic of Watchmen. You'll also see it change a little bit as sort of superheroes start getting involved. You get some characters in here that add some additional flavor to the world. Mime and Marionette, incredible characters with wild backstories, and just an incredible part to play in this storyline. This story takes place with essentially almost the entire DC universe, again integrating with the Watchmen. So you've got Rorschach, you've got Dr. Manhattan, you've got Ozymandias out there, Silk Spectre, all these characters, you know, whether they're alive or not. I'm not going to give away anything sort of like that. A lot happens in this book, and it's great to, as soon as you open the book, to get into that Watchmen feel. I personally thought that Jeff Johns did an amazing job trying to channel that Alan Moore Watchmen writing style with the Rorschach monologues, that sort of the news broadcasting mixing with political news, mixing with advertising, mixing with, you know, what's happening in the actual scene of the artwork. Really well done. So well done. I thought Jeff Johns did an incredible job hitting the notes for all the characters, DC and Watchmen. Very well done. It's a story that kept me gripped the entire time. I wanted to know what was happening. I wanted to put all the pieces of the puzzle together so bad. And it's so worth it. I know the problem with this book was that as it was coming out, there were huge delays in between issues. It was supposed to be a keystone moment of the rebirth era of the DC universe, but it just didn't work out with the delays in scheduling. So, you know, the purpose of the story, as it were, kind of fell to the wayside, unfortunately, but in the grander scheme of things. But reading it now, being able to binge read it like this with all the material, it's such a great story. It's so dense in material too. You get so much in a single issue. You get to see different parts of the DC universe get explored a little bit, and some characters that maybe haven't been a huge part of the DC universe in a while make a glorious return, as it were. Really, really incredible. It sort of felt like also an homage to Geoff Johns' entire career and all his work, which is insane. If you haven't read anything by Geoff Johns, Teen Titans, Green Lantern, Aquaman, an incredible Superman, his Superman work, Batman, Earth One. He even had, I think, a little stint on Avengers over at Marvel. But Geoff Johns is the man when it comes to superheroes, especially the DC Universe, JSA, Justice League. He's done so much. He's touched every character. I will say this too. If you're a fan of Superman, let me tell you, this is definitely the book for you. It's a huge, great story to throw back to Superman's entire history. It's like this beautiful combination of like the DC universe and everything that's led up to this moment in the DC universe, with Superman being the pinnacle. It's just so well done. I won't say anything more beside that. It's really, really, really incredible. In terms of the Absolute Edition itself, just for the artwork alone, I recommend it. Gary Frank's artwork is so beautiful and so amazing and so excellently reproduced in this hardcover. Just for that alone, I would recommend it. But if you're going to read this story, if you're interested in this story, what better way than in the biggest format? In terms of the book itself, it feels really solid. I don't have any problems with the way it feels at all. The binding's not too bad. I haven't really worked this book out that much, so it's still pretty tight in this video, and still even the eye hold end didn't look too bad. I can't complain. I really can't complain. It's a bit pricey. From what I remember, I think it was around, 163 Canadian, 125 US. So on the pricier side when it comes to absolutes, but you're getting a ton of material here. It's a story I've already read multiple times and will be returning to, so I really can't recommend it enough from that aspect. It's great bang for your buck, in my opinion. You get a good amount of bonus content. You get to see some of the thought process of Geoff Johns and Gary Frank. It's really awesome. So before we go, really quickly want to mention organicpricebooks.com. Check them out. Promo codes will show up on the screen as I keep talking, but I want to know what you all think of Doomsday Clock. Are you going to pick this book up? Have you already picked up this Absolute Edition? Let us know down in the comment section below. Did you enjoy the story? Do you dislike the story? Tell me why. Do you think I just wasted my money? Let me know down in the comment section below. Please. I want you to know. I want to know why you don't like it. Can't say anything will come from it, but at least let me know so I can understand a different point of view. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This is Mike from the Hardcover Comic. As always, until next time, you stay classy, Internet.